And hello again, YouTube. It's after closing time, 2:05 a.m. Friday night, Saturday morning, April 30th, 2022. Yeah, you know, when I left the hideaway, my plan was to walk up to Kitty's Cocktails and see what was happening there. Maybe have a drink, if that. I don't know if I really vlogged about what it was like there last week. Actually, I don't think I went. No, I did not go there last week. The week before. My weeks are blurring together in a big way these days lately. But I guess it was 2 weeks ago I went to Kitty's for karaoke, and yeah, it was exceptionally disappointing. And that's how I ended up over at Set Moses Recording Studio. Just because I, after sitting around for about 2 hours and nobody actually singing karaoke, and in just nothing going on, just me sitting drinking a beer and not even really connecting with anybody. It was like, yeah, okay, just walk on down the highway. It's only another half mile. But I ended up stopping over at, just basically finding Set Moses Recording Studio because there was good sound, music that sounded good to me coming out of there. I just walked over to see what was going on. And it was kind of funny because initially they were like, yeah, what are you doing here? This is private property, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I heard music, came to check it out. I do music, I'm into music. And ended up, there's still stragglers leaving out of here tonight. Anyway, this is like 2 weeks ago, I ended up singing, no, I just told them, I do karaoke, and they pulled up a track for, off Sing King Karaoke on YouTube. They pulled up a track for oh god, now I forget the name of the song. I think it's called Get You by Daniel Caesar. Dang, sometimes I forget song names, and it's I've had a few to drink, so I'm just, and my memory's not good when I'm sober. So, but anyway, it's the song's got the falsetto chorus, the one that goes, "Ooh, whoever thought I'd get you? Oh yeah, baby." Anyway, that song, singing it on the track, and like he had whatever effects he had on my mic, it made me sound pretty fucking impressive. And apparently somebody, and I wasn't even sure which one of those guys was the guy that owned the studio. There was two guys and two gals there. And as I mentioned in another video, when I was there, that it seemed like it wasn't a recording session as much as it was two guys trying to hook up with two gals by impressing them that, hey, we got a recording studio. And hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm kind of wishing there were three gals there. I'd have stuck around. But anyway, somebody shot a video of me singing in there, and apparently that's been getting talked about over there. So yeah, in the last video, if you saw the end of the last video, I was just walking down Thomas, planning on going to Kitty's Cocktails and then maybe wandering over to the Wander Inn. And I heard tunes coming out of there, so I figured, yeah, let's go check it out. Which I did. I ended up hanging out there damn near an hour. So I'm hoping in the last vlog that I did that y'all can hear the track that's playing in the background as I was walking by. Because come to find out, they had just recorded that. Like, that was a brand new thing. The guy that was rapping on the track, Set Moses did all the production on it, and the guy that was rapping on the track, he wrote that. He had just sang that. sang the chorus on it as well. And it's sorry, I'm a wee bit tired and just having trouble thinking straight, and wandering through this apartment complex. It's a shortcut. It really is. Anyway, I've just got done chatting with him for about 10 minutes, and damned if I can remember his name. But anyway, the guy was rapping on the track. It was a cool track. I enjoyed it. So, definitely another hip hop ode to Southern California. But, whatever. Nothing wrong with that. That song's a bit of a jam. I mean, I went over there to check it out, and they had me listen to it. And then as soon as I walked up, Moses mentioned the other guy. It's like, oh, that's the guy I was telling you about, the old guy that actually sings really good. Like, he's like, you should do a hook on the chorus, something. And I'm like, well, and to be honest, I couldn't think of anything good. I mean, I kind of thought of a bit of a melody that kind of worked with what he already had for a chorus. Couldn't think of any really good words to go with it. I mean, I'm like, it's like, how can I pretend I'm West Coast since I'm from Arizona? And, a couple location references. Oh, yes, let me be a cliche. Like, did a couple location references, because, that works. But a couple things I threw in there, like, that sounds pretty good. I'm like, yeah. Said, honestly, I think I'm kind of putting overkill. I think the track's already good the way it is, but send me a copy of it, and maybe I'll get some inspiration. But anyway, I had fun, playing with that, and then Moses pops up this remix he did of Zapp and Roger Computer Love that was just cool as hell, where he just completely taken the song and rearranged it and added a bunch of extra bass and percussion to it, and that was really cool. And I guess he's trying to put that together to have some of the talents that he works with rap over the top of it, which I can see working. Other than the version of it that he played, and he said, that he's definitely going to cut it down. It was pretty long. And didn't really have an ending per se. He's like, yeah. I said, are you going to put an ending on that? And he's like, no, I'll definitely fade it out before then. It's not going to go that long. As I was just looping it to see what I could get out of it. But, and I could see the other guy, the one that was rapping before, was trying to think of some stuff to lay over the top of it. Some verses to lay over the top of it. But it's, the whole thing had so many vocals, from Roger Troutman still in place that I just don't see putting anything over the top of that. Roger Troutman singing. I just want to hear Roger Troutman singing. But anyway, it's pretty cool. He did say he got my email about the show at Bullock's, and then he asked, hey, could you, is there any chance of us booking gigs in there? I'm like, nope. I was telling him about like 3 weeks ago when Jim, the owner of the bar, had given me a ride back to my place to get the audio cord that I had left at my place. And how he was talking about, like, oh yeah, he would never do a hip hop night, and the reason people come to that bar is because they don't play hip hop. And I'm thinking, wow, like, apparently nobody has told Jim what I play on Thursday and why it's so busy on Thursday, but yeah, he's not going to do a live hip hop night. That's not going to happen. Ooh, wow. I about stepped in a hole and fell on my ass there. But I think the last time I walked home, I went this way, but I didn't try this alley. Maybe today's a good day to try the alley. This would be a much cooler video if it was not dark. and y'all can see where I'm walking, but it's all right. I'm learning new paths, and that's what matters. I expect this is probably going to go through to 40th Street. Anyway, yeah, that is the last thing I expected I would be doing tonight. In fact, I was kind of doubtful that I would ever wander back to the recording studio at all, so it was pretty cool to hang out with them and then kind of see, like I didn't have much input. I feel bad, but yeah, I wasn't, thinking of much. And then Moses started working on some tracks, just throwing down a rhythm and throwing down a bass line, and I'm sure he's got some other stuff, but he does legitimately seem interested in having me, sing some hooks, sing some choruses, which is like, doing hooks and choruses on new local hip hop is the last thing I expected to be doing in my 50s, but here I am, and maybe something will come of that. Okay, I know where I'm at now. This is 42nd Street. Could have stayed on that alley, but that seemed like a good place to go south. Ooh, there's a curb there. Just about fell on my ass. Anyway, had a good time hanging out there, and seemed pretty legit serious about involving me on some tracks at a later date and sending me some stuff that he's working on, like unfinished stuff. That I could, listen to and maybe get some ideas and add to, and who knows? I mean, maybe, I'm sorry from nothing. So I mean, if I can contribute to something, and it can be part of something, I'm in. That sounds awesome. So anyway, at this point, I'm just walking home, as it's after 2 a.m. In fact, it's now 2:17. I'm tired. I think if I'd have stayed over there any longer, I'd have probably ended up passing out on the couch in his in his front room there. Where the all the speakers and mics and shit are set up. But you'd see a couple little kids coming out of the back. I'm assuming they're probably Moses' son. So so yeah, I would imagine he's probably ready to wind down himself. But yeah, it's almost like I should go home. I'm tired, and I got a wee bit of a walk. Not even sure what the hell street I'm on. This is one of those neighborhoods that I don't know the name of every street, but I generally know where I'm at when I'm walking through it. And it's one I used to regularly ride my electric scooter through when I had functioning electric scooters. And one that I used to, even back in like the 1990s, used to regularly drive through here as a cab driver and ride through here on my bike. I'm on Yale Street. I think this is the same one. Last time I shot a video going this way, I think this is the same route that I walked as far as Yale Street. I just cut south sooner. I would at some point, which I'd mentioned on that video, I would at some point like to make some videos just showing the routes that I like to take through Phoenix when I'm riding a bike or when I'm riding an electric scooter. Like I watch a lot of, and even without trying, like I've kind of landed in that space on Twitter, of people talking about bike lanes, bike lane layouts. Encountered this really interesting thread about, started by somebody that works for some public transit system somewhere. It's so specific, right? I don't remember the details. I just remember that it was actually a person that was tweeting from an official account for a public transit system in a major city. And my memory is kind of fractured, so I don't remember the name of the person or the specific city, but I definitely remember the drawing. And I was detailing a thing. I think I forget what the hell they were calling it. I want to say a bus bump, bus blister. I don't know. The name was stupid. At least in my perception, the name was stupid. But basically, the concept. Whoa. What's up? Just got a haircut. That was weird. And kind of sus. Anybody who's riding a bike with another bike on the side, yeah, kind of sus. Yeah, well, at least I know it's not my bike. My bike is securely locked in my shed with a flat tire. So, anyways, I was saying the tweet that I encountered was about a different style of bus stop where basically you've got a protrusion from the curb that goes out the width of the parking lane. And this is assuming that the bus route is on a street that has on-street parking, which to be honest, there's not a lot of that in Phoenix. Pretty much the majority of the bus routes on Phoenix go on the major stroads, which are all 5 lanes or larger, and have no parking, have no on-street parking at all. I don't think there's any part of Thomas that has on-street parking, or McDowell, or Indian School, or Camelback, and so on and so forth. 27th Avenue, whatever. All the major stroads that run through Phoenix on the square mile grid system, for the most part, none of those streets have on-street parking. So, not this concept of what he was showing, not really relevant, but yet it is. Basically, the concept was showing where a bus stop that's on a street that has on-street parking, showing that like the traditional bus stop would have the bus pulling over to the curb in a space between a few, there would be a 3-car length, 4-car length space between the on-street parking marked as, no parking bus stop, where the bus has to pull over, pick up people, drop off people, and then merge back out into traffic. And what they were suggesting, wow, there's a sidewalk here, amazing. What they were suggesting is instead of that was to have a protrusion taking up less space, where you've got parking in front and in back, and then that protrusion comes out to where the traffic lane is, and the bus could stop right there. Now, of course, there were some people that were negative about it, of like, well, what about the cars? No, that's not good, because then the cars got to go around it. And I'm like, no, you can stop behind it. You can stop and wait. People who drive cars don't like the concept of stopping and waiting. But you know what? Everybody's been waiting for that bus, been waiting for 30 minutes. You can wait 30, 40 seconds while people board on the bus. I think you can do that. Anyway, and when somebody had commented, it's like, well, that's just going to create extra traffic and extra pollution. And I had responded to that with the solution to that is to ride that bus instead of driving. And that comment got a surprising amount of thumbs up. So At least the transit people get it. Anyway, as far as how that was kind of relevant to me, is that one thing that Phoenix has a lot of, and I know I've mentioned it in some of my vlogs, couldn't tell you which one. I'm not even going to try to link them to this, but one of the problems I've had, particularly when I'm riding across town on the McDowell Road bus, is once it gets further out onto the west side, almost all the bus stops have bus pullouts. Bus pullouts are pretty crappy for the bus driver, pretty crappy for the transit people, pretty crappy for keeping the buses running on time, because basically what they do is they get the bus out of the way. Gets the bus out of the way of traffic, but then once the bus has, picked up its passengers, dropped off its passengers, done what it has to do, and needs to get back into traffic, suddenly it's got to wait for a break in traffic. It's stuck. And it takes what could be 20, 30 seconds at a bus stop and turns it into like 2 minutes at a bus stop. Now, if you got that going on every half mile, that's 2 minutes. 2 minutes at a half mile, 2 minutes of the next half mile. Over 5 minutes of 5 miles of bus route. That's 10 minutes of wasted time. And yeah, it's great for the people that aren't on the bus. It's great for the people that are driving. The bus is out of their way. But, yeah. The reality is that if you're wanting to drive and not be slowed down by buses, you shouldn't be on city streets. You should be on freeways. So, anyway, got kind of involved in that discussion. And I forget where I was going with this. But anyway, I guess the point I was trying to make is that I managed, without even trying, I managed to land in that part of Twitter after spending, so much time in that part of Reddit, which is simply r/fuck cars. And in a lot of those parts of YouTube, particularly on videos produced by City Nerd, Not Just Bikes, City Beautiful. Oh gosh, there's other channels that I land on, but those are three of the biggest. Anyway, I did throw my 2 cents in there about how as somebody had commented, it's like, well, the buses never. Yeah, that's a good thing, and to stop the buses from having to wait to get back into traffic. And then somebody else had commented, oh, then they never do that. I'm like, they do in Phoenix. And fun thing with Twitter is that that makes it definitely different than Reddit is on Twitter. Most government agencies are there, and most local politicians are there, or at least they have an account that somebody monitors. So when I put a comment like that, it's really easy for me to tag, to tag Mayor Kate and to tag Valley Metro. I got a feeling at some point Valley Metro is probably going to block me, but at the moment they're paying attention. As I said earlier, yesterday they retweeted a video that I posted of an SUV driving on the light rail tracks. So somebody there has noticed who I am. So yeah, I commented about how Phoenix has the bus pullouts, and that's one of the reasons that Valley Metro buses are usually late and sometimes very late, because they do get stuck in the bus pullouts and unable to get back into traffic. I was going somewhere with that, by the way. Something to do with something to do with hip hop and public transit. Where does that all come together? I don't know. Anyway, I'm almost home. Oh, I remember now. It was bike lanes. Yes. I was talking about YouTube channels that I end up showing examples of bike lanes, and people talking about, oh yeah, streets need bike lanes, streets need bike lanes, and Phoenix is terrible because it doesn't have bike lanes. And so I've been watching a lot of videos, I think specifically of Toronto. I'm not sure why the YouTube algorithm keeps feeding me videos of bike lanes in Toronto, but it's been happening and I've been watching them. And yeah, so all over Toronto, they've got streets that are kind of busy and they've added bike lanes, and it's pretty chaotic because the bike lane is on the far right, and traffic is, there's substantial amounts of traffic that are turning across the bike lane. So who has the right of way? Well, the cyclists feel like they have the right of way and the turning cars should stop. And turning cars, when they're turning right, generally speaking, don't stop for bicycles, even if they are in a bike lane. And to be fair to the people that are driving, some of these videos that I saw with where the bike lane is placed, the person on the bike is in the driver's blind spot anyway, especially if they're able to cycle faster than the people driving. Anyway, I've often stated in those places, and sometimes I get voted down or told that I'm insane for this opinion. And granted, different cities have different layouts than Phoenix. I'm aware of that. But I was commenting, your best route is to not be on streets where you've got conflicts with cars. I mean, I just walked on that back road that I was on when I came. Let's see, I went through the apartment complex, but then when I did turn on the little stub of a road that connected to the street, I'll say I walked 3/4 of a mile. It's Yale Street. I know at one point it changes names, so basically I walked a street for 3/4 of a mile. I saw one vehicle. And it doesn't matter, even rush hour traffic, I can go down that street that I was just walking down. I can, and there are routes like that where I can go on side streets, like that one right there, and go miles and miles and miles across town. You wouldn't want to do it in a car. There's a speed limit, assuming there even is a speed limit posted on that street. Generally speaking, I think in Arizona, a residential street without a posted speed limit is to be assumed. I think the default speed is 25 miles per hour. But yeah, when there are cars driving on that, they're going 25, 30. Sometimes they're going even slower, which when I'm driving, not gonna lie, when I'm driving, that's annoying as hell to me. Because, yeah, I usually want to drive faster than that. And I do. When I'm driving, I do tend to drive about 28, 30-ish down those streets. I rarely ever go faster than 30, but I do want to do 30. And I find there are a lot of people that were on those streets, they drive like 15 or 20 miles per hour. And it's just because when they're on those side streets, they don't know where the hell they're going. But for somebody who does know where the hell they're going, you can go all over the city. And I found you can go all over a lot of other cities as well, on side streets like that, when you're on a bicycle or on an electric scooter. And it's a lot safer than being on a major street with a lot of vehicle traffic in a bike lane. That little stripe of the bike lane doesn't do shit to protect you from cars that are passing going much faster. And it doesn't do anything to protect cars going in and out of business driveways and turning right onto side streets. But if you can map out routes that get you across town on side streets and take that route on a bike, you don't need a bike. You pretty much got that whole street to yourself. Oh, look at this. There's a fence up here that wasn't here before. Wow, this is new. Looks like they got over half the parking lot blocked off with a chain link fence. I'm at the corner of Oak and 44th Street, where they just recently demolished the Honor Health urgent care. It's supposed to be a salad and going in here, so looking forward to that. Of course, now they got the fence there, I can't take the shortcut through the parking lot to get to this little bus stop quicker. So, yeah, I used to like cut through right where that piece of heavy equipment is, and now there's chain link fence blocking it. So that sucks. Anyway, one of these days I really would like to make some videos and actually publish a map of these routes that I've figured out that get you all over Phoenix on side streets where you don't have much in the way of conflicts with cars. Maybe do some ride-along videos as well. Anyway, on that note, I've made it to QT, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. Go inside, get myself some munchies, and call it a night. But, which kind of sucks that I'm going to sleep at this point, because now I'm kind of getting off my graveyard schedule that I kind of need for my Amazon job, but whatever. Still debating as to whether I want to put in an extra night of work tomorrow through Winolo. I don't know. Still thinking about it. It's still an option. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the walk.